Hey folks, Russ here. Thanks for sticking around for part 2 of Show Dogs. Hope you enjoyed this as much as we did.
No, that makes sense. So he walks back there. He's got the panda. He shows up. He walks in a room with 3 people in there, all with briefcases. Clear that they have briefcases means they've got money.
They all look very suspicious.
Very, very suspicious. And he says, goes back in the room and just like the door is still open, by the way, in the back, which leads to like this after party. And he's just like, all right, bidding starts at $10 million.
Yeah. So
I might hop on the dark web and just poke around and see what it costs to like get a panda, but like
already done, dude. I hopped on the regular web and looked up how much a panda costs. So
what do we got?
First of all, on the regular market here.
Yeah.
I almost said white market as opposed to black market. That's stupid. On the market in the legal market, you cannot buy a panda.
Yes. That's a known thing.
Because of course you can't. So you can, but you can lease a panda.
And you should not, by the way.
But you can lease a panda from the Chinese government. That's a thing.
That sounds all right.
Also kind of fucked up. So
sounds right, but also is I agree.
So leasing a panda costs $1 million per year. I'm not kidding you. Leasing a panda costs $1 million per year. So think of it that way, buying a panda for $10 million, a bargain, a wild bargain.
That's 10 years. Well, what's a panda's lifespan?
More than 10 years for sure.
I have no idea. I don't know how long pandas survive for, but
the one part of our research we didn't do.
So you can lease a panda.
Yeah, lease. It's lease, Russ. Come on. We're not renting pandas here.
How is this?
You lease them. You don't lease to own.
So it's crazy that we live in a world where this movie exists and the dogs and humans don't talk to each other, but we live also in a real world where you can lease a panda from a government.
Yeah.
And an actual animal, which they're not going extinct, are they?
Oh, they're super endangered. Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So pandas apparently in captivity can live up to 30 years. So this pays for itself after 10.
so yeah.
If you're buying a panda off this sketchy guy, it pays for itself after 10 years.
I mean, we all saw that stupid show with the tigers, right? We're not going to talk about it, but
Tiger King? Yeah, I love Tiger King.
Ugh, God. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know, I guess, but why?
Shout out to Tiger King, free you from prison, I hope.
Jesus Christ. I got to cut that out now?
No, don't edit that.
Fucking Christ.
All right, if you're gonna edit that, edit where I said white market.
Yes, I got you. Don't worry about it. Maybe a little sleeping cut there.
But. Make a note at this section. Wait, should we just pause for a couple seconds so you remember to make a note here?
Hold on. I'm gonna pause again.
Yeah.
And we're back.
Oh, doggy dates. I love them. Gotta have them. Need them yesterday.
All right, so let's recap here. So let's lock it all down here. So we got pandas selling for $10 million. You know, we figured out that's actually not a bad deal.
A bargain. Average, yeah. I don't think we said it on the recording, but panda's lifespan in captivity average about 30 years. So this panda pays for itself after 10 years.
Yeah. Of just hanging out and being fucking adorable, I guess.
Yeah, the economics of big panda, you're gonna
completely makes sense. You're not losing out. So okay, so this all checks out. Someone did their awkward panda smuggling research on this.
Sure.
And then we jump into we bounce back to Max and Daisy there, the 2 pups, Street and fancy lady there, lady
adorable.
In the will, Romeo and Juliet, if you will.
Yep.
On our second montage, the old doggy date montage.
Yes, and I love it. So right before they do the doggy date montage, they really nail home the mutt of many mysteries. They're trying to make it stick as the nickname for Max.
Yep. Again.
Which I really appreciate. Like I said before, this is movie writing 101. They're like, oh, remember that line we said earlier? Let's say it again. People will remember that.
Yep. little kids will not get it.
Yep. And then they get into the montage, which starts with doggy ziplining.
How do the dogs get in? Like, someone has to set you up with that.
It's another part of the movie that was like really confusing for me. For like, wait, can the dogs actually talk to people?
Right. Did they pay for? You have to pay for this, right? You can't just go up there.
Presumably.
Yeah.
It's definitely not free.
I'm going to come back to. I mean, at this point, let's just recap generally here.
They get in a magic trick.
We're still in the date montage. The dogs do zip lining.
Yep.
They profess each other's interest in each other there. They go to like a was it Benihana type of, or what's the restaurant?
Yeah, like a little teppanyaki place there.
Yeah. The chef is like chopping up food right in front of the family, and he's flipping things up into his hat. And
classic prank.
And every piece he flips up, they're catching in their mouths. Somehow they're on the roof inside the restaurant.
Yeah, I've also flagged that of like, wait, how did they get on the roof there?
But they're like on a roof of like a thing that's inside the restaurant. It makes no sense.
Yep. And then they get on the real roof.
And then they get on the real roof. So like this is a problem with like logic. Like don't mess with kids' logic of like what makes sense in the world, right? Like this is just fucked up.
One would think, yeah. Like
are they in a cartoon, but don't make it look like real things. Like a dog could sit on a roof inside of a restaurant. Makes no sense.
Like it's like I've been to a fair amount of teppanyaki places like that. Most of them don't have weird. It looked like a set. It looked like a studio set of a restaurant where like they're like sitting right above it and being like, oh, we're gonna catch stuff in our mouths right above the people.
Yes.
Like it was very contrived for the sake of the movie.
Yes, in a very weird way. So then they move. Still part of the montage. They move up to the top, like the main roof. And we get some good stuff here. One, we get a classic Lady and the Tramp move.
Yeah, where the pigeons come back finally.
The pigeons are back. We need them. We need them to close this movie out. But the pigeons are back. They flew all the way from New York to Las Vegas, which I don't think is that?
Nope. Definitely not possible. Definitely not possible. And then they're like, oh, he's Lady and the Tramping her. You're like, wait a second, this sets up another thing where like in this universe, like this is definitely our universe where Lady and the Tramp exists as a movie.
Yeah, it's a movie that somehow these animals have seen, which is also weird.
Yep. So then they're back to the rooftop. They're having a little picnic.
Yep.
And this is where that mistake happens. Movie mistake. The old goof.
What was the movie mistake? What was it?
The goof where like in one shot there's like a bunch of food on the picnic blanket, and then in the next shot there's not.
Oh, love it.
And I love the line, "Oh my gosh, garbage, my favorite."
Classic pigeon line, right? Come
no,
on.
That was the dog. That was Daisy that said that. Yeah, Daisy said that.
I fell asleep even then.
And I was like, wait, what? And he was like, no, not garbage. He's like, these are New York's finest hot dogs.
Yeah. Like,
are you fucking kidding me? He's like, this isn't garbage. Get out of here.
He's trying to,
Yeah. And then like this is when he blows it.
Yeah.
And I wrote, direct quote, "Can you imagine me acting all fake and phony?" says Max. And I wrote, "You blew it, you dummy."
Yeah. Totally blew it.
He's talking about being in the pageant, or whatever, the dog show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, like you people who do dog shows for a living, like so shallow and vapid." Yeah. And you're like, you're blowing it constantly. Poor Daisy just has to sit there and take it. And she's like, "Oh, that's how that's what you really think of me. Why don't you just say it?"
Look, I'm sorry. This is what I do. How about you respect what I do? And like all of a sudden, Max is like, "Oh, yeah, respect."
Yeah, and then she walks away.
And then that's it. And they walk away from on the rooftop. I don't know where she goes. Maybe she jumps off. I don't know.
Unclear. And then the pigeons are like,
"Yep, this didn't go very well." And one is like, "Yeah, you need a wingman," which I thought was kind of funny. I mean, that's just.
Yeah, and then the woman pigeon there is like, "I would never leave you." And I was like, wait a second. I don't know how I feel about the relationship between this pigeon and Max. Like, she was making some weird comments towards Max earlier, and I feel like she's really leaning into it now. I don't know. There's a lot of questionable situations they're putting Max into here.
So we finished Doggy Date. It's good, but it's not. It ends poorly. Next day, it's competition time, bro.
Yeah, and specifically agility. We're talking the part of the competition Max is going to be good at.
Yeah, because we saw earlier in the film him jump over his partner now / FBI guy at the time, still FBI guy, but trying to run him over.
Frank,
he jumped over that car like it was fucking nothing, dude.
Exactly.
So we know he's gonna crush this.
He's rolling, and he immediately rolls in there, and he's there. Like it's like, all right, here comes the doggy frisbee toss. Because
which is this a thing in I don't think this is a thing in dog.
I don't think so. No. I mean, I've never seen a dog show, so it might be. But
we should go to one sometime and see what it's all about. But yeah, I don't think this is how dog show. I don't think this is how they operate.
Yeah, we can do. We'll do Best in Show as a movie. We'll do a road trip episode where we go to a dog show and then also watch Best in Show in the hotel room.
Perfect.
Yeah, got it. We got it covered. This is a whole plan. So yeah, Max flexing like a boss, grabbing discs left and right.
Boss.
Yeah.
So the first round, right, is a disc toss thing where the guy throws like 4 or 5 discs up in the air and Max just runs up and grabs all of them.
He's expecting to catch each of the puppies, catch them, I think, right? Like that's the goal here. They're all trying to catch a disc. Everyone gets a disc. Max gets all of them.
All of them. Crushing.
Outrageous.
Crushing it. Next round, the jumping round.
Give me extra bars.
Give me extra fucking bars, dude. Like, I don't have time for 3 bars like the last Greyhound had.
Yeah, this is a classic Giles Corey scenario where you're like, more weight.
I also love, like, Max comes up with the bars in his mouth and just drops them on the ground. Where did you get those from, dog? If I was the guy who would have put him on the thing, like, dog, what? Where'd you get those from?
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, good boy, you collected these sticks. I wouldn't put them. It'll be like, I guess he wants to go higher, guys.
Oh, he wants to go more? Fuck yeah.
It's like, not obvious.
No. It's like then he steps back and he fucking clears that thing like a goddamn champ, like a purebred, you know?
Yeah, and the whole time the announcer's like, we're witnessing history, folks. Like, this is what a crazy time. And you're like, setting records is not how you stay undercover. like first of all, you're going by your real name, dog, Max. Like the scoreboard, whenever they show the scoreboard, shows Max. Like he's using his real name. Like the criminals have dogs too, like we saw in the first scene there. Like there were those dogs. There was that dog that attacked Max at the beginning. Where are these criminal dogs? Why aren't they in on the competition?
Yep.
How are they not on high alert? Like what's going on?
It gets a little hairy here. The details just, whatever. We don't need details. We just need dogs doing dog things, my friend.
Well, and that's when Max insults Felipe, right? After he crushes the competition, does like a boss performance, and then he's like, oh, whatever. It's just a dog show, bro. And Felipe's like, hey, fuck you. It's the one place you can be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Like it's the one place you can really do, and Max is like, "Oh shit, maybe I've been mistaken this whole time. Maybe
character learning about himself,
Yeah, like maybe when I said those hurtful things to Daisy earlier, like shit, maybe I was mistaken."
Yeah,
he's growing. He's learning as a character.
He's learning. Don't be such a street dog. Just be, just understand empathy. The rest of the world,
Yeah, and then I noted Sprinkles not a good comic relief character because then Sprinkles rolls up and he's like, "Guys, I'm here too," and everyone's like,
"And isn't that it's Iglesias there who's
Gabriel Iglesias? Yeah,
he's a comedian. So why is he not funny?
He's not funny."
They did the disc catching, they did the jumping, then they did like the weird tunnel. Grab the flag, capture the flag thing, and he jumped on a rope and did a whole like.
Oh yeah, he's very agile.
Which we already know. We know this.
They're trying to emphasize it a bunch because it's gonna again. This is like the movie writing 101. They're like, oh, make sure you people know that he's agile because we're gonna write it again and again and again.
because this might come up a little bit later when he drives a. Well, I'll tell you later.
Exactly.
All right, so
we roll in.
Max wins.
Yep.
Right.
Unbelievable.
Wins. Everyone's fucking up in arms. Senor Gabrielle is up in arms.
Yep. Not happy.
Not happy, but you now have, you have the first place dog who is now, this is what they wanted, right? Well, no, they don't yet.
They don't.
They don't. I'm sorry, they don't have that yet.
And also because he didn't win. He won the agility competition, but he didn't win overall best in show. And I think that's in this scene when Daisy wins best in show. We're getting to it soon.
Sorry, you're right.
So before that, they have like a little weird cutscene between Natasha Lyonne and Will Arnett there, and they're both like, and this is what weirded me out about Natasha Lyonne's role. Maddie is her name, right? And
correct.
Like I was like, what's her character? Because they both have a weird. They're like, oh yeah, like we're just trying to do the operation to not jeopardize the victim's safety. Like they're like both like what a weird thing to jinx on.
Right.
Jeopardize the victim's safety. Like, are you an FBI person? Like, how do you know? Like, what are you talking about? What kind of hard shit have you seen? And then she starts talking about her old dog, Jasper. She's like, oh, Jasper was the best. Like, he was a really good dog. And I was like, oh, wait, are we not going to get to meet Jasper? Like, did Jasper die in some unspecified downfall that we won't know?
Oh, Jasper. You'll find out.
Right. And then I wanted to call this out. So then she's like, well, world champion dogs are worth millions. And I go, no, that's fake news. And I looked it up. World champion dogs are worth like maybe $100,000, not millions, dude.
Okay.
There's no way. There's no where. Like a lot of times, a lot of these like breeder dogs that you're putting in shows here, they're like $10,000 dogs. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That's an expensive dog.
That's a lot of money for a dog.
But it's not millions.
Well, worth millions though, meaning that if a $10,000 dog wins, do they get a lot of money though?
No, they don't get a lot of money. Spoilers. Yeah, maybe the only way I could see it construed is like, oh, it's worth millions in terms of their like doggy progeny of like, okay, if this dog then has 10 puppies that are
breed a champion,
and if each of those dogs are worth $100,000, sure.
That's like you need too many dogs to make it worth $10 million.
And then we're getting into a weird Michael Vick thing that I don't want to go down.
Yeah, but you brought it up. That's great. Okay, cool.
Yeah, don't edit that.
Nope, not saying it.
So like, first of all, love this line. When Senor Gabrielle there, the main villain apparently, who's been in the movie for 2 minutes at most.
Yeah, he's had a couple scenes. Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and like Will Arnett's like, I'm so sorry about Karma, the dog named Karma. And he goes, it's what the universe wanted, I suppose. What a heavy-handed way of.
Yeah, that's a line drop, right?
Like, this movie's clever, dude. That's what I'm saying. This is not a made for kids movie.
No, it's definitely not. And it's definitely not written for anyone. They just happen to piece together, like duct tape together a movie. That's all.
Yeah. And the same thing with like, then like right then is when Max is like, okay, pigeons, like time to move Operation Shenanigans, like, on my 6. And first of all, this is like the 10th time they've said on my 6 in the movie.
Right. That's a cop thing to say. That's what you say.
Yeah, it's a cop thing to say. But like, if the pigeons didn't know what that mean, which at the beginning they very clearly did not know what that meant.
Nope.
Like, how do they expect these like civvy dogs to know? Like,
on my 6.
Yeah, Felipe and Sprinkles, like they don't know what on my 6 means.
They're fucking passion dogs.
Yeah, they're idiots. Like,
they're show dogs.
Yeah. I don't get it. And that's when we get to the half the world uses wet naps, right?
Yeah. Finally, we know who our villain is, right?
Yeah. Well, right. It's Senor Gabrielle.
Yeah, Senor Gabrielle. With Shaq.
And also Shaq. Karma. Yeah.
Shaggy Shaq, Karma. And they get outside, and I think we're missing something there, but whatever. We're gonna skip over because fuck it. And Max runs out after them. And
well, so my first thought here was like, is Karma the actual villain here? Is Karma the criminal mastermind? Like, I immediately, the dog. Like, I was like, wait, I was like, this dog seems so chill.
But they can't talk to anyone. What's he organizing? What's he gonna do?
I think in the back of my head, I was still like, maybe the dogs can talk.
I was too. I was like, why can't the fucking dogs and humans talk to each other? Like, this movie would be so much. I mean, the movie would be over if they could, but it'd be like a 5-minute long movie. Like, yeah, Tim, over there. So Senor Gabriel is escaping. Max is onto him. He runs out. He's eyeing him. And what gives him up? The fucking lavender wet naps, bro. Are you kidding me? Set up, payoff, boom. Beginning of the movie, who was in the back of the car with the fucking panda? He had some wet naps. Hopefully we mentioned this very early on, but maybe not.
Oh, we did.
Okay, good. And then he uses the wet nap, and Max is like, that shit's lavender, which I love lavender, by the way. Lavender's a good smell.
I'm pro
like,
lavender.
Lavender wet naps. He ties it all together. Boom.
Well, and I do appreciate. I feel like this is the first time in the movie where they've been reasonable. And he's like, well, I mean, half the world uses wet naps, right? Like, yeah, good point. Like, maybe he's not the guy. Like, you can't go drawing conclusions from one clue like that.
But who the fuck just randomly uses wet naps like that? Half the world? Really?
That's what he says. I don't think half the world uses wet naps, but he says half the world uses wet naps.
You get wet naps after barbecue or like KFC. That's when they give you wet naps.
Yeah, fair enough.
Or seafood places.
Yeah. And then Max pays the price.
He does. So Max he makes a move and he attacks Senor Gabriel, right? Bites his leg. Somehow Gabriel escapes. They drive off. And then
while Max is being arrested, at one point I wrote this down. He goes, "This is BS." And I was like, wait a second. So many questions here. One question, can you say BS in a PG movie?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Question answered. Second of all, isn't he working with a federal agent? Like how like they're like, if this is also a kids movie, like immediately the animal control people show up and they're like, he's being remanded to state custody. And I was like, most of the adults watching this movie don't know what remanded means. Like,
I was like, what? Remanded what?
Yeah. I was like, what is this movie? And can't Will Arnett prevent this?
Yeah, he's also he's a police dog apparently who fights crime.
A famous NYPD dog, apparently, yeah.
Very famous, who took down and goes on scouts by himself to take down criminals who were smuggling, I think I say rabbits, pandas.
And then they bring him to the same dog prison that he was at earlier. And I was like, wait, is there only one dog prison in this town?
We also need to comment on how quickly. So he bites is a bit aggressive, grabs onto a pant leg of our villain here, right? Villain escapes. Max goes inside. Blah. I didn't get him. And then, literally 2 minutes later, the doggy police show up and they're like, boom, you done.
Remanded to state custody.
Boom. It's like, holy shit. Those cops showed up. I mean, I guess they don't have a lot to do in Vegas, but man, those doggy animal police.
All right. I mean, that's bullshit. What do you mean they don't have a lot to do in Vegas? Think about all the Sigmund Freud characters out there that are trying
to. What?
Do all kinds of weird there's all kinds of weird animal crimes going on in Vegas. What are you talking about? There's so many animal crimes to deal with.
You think so? And you think that they're on Johnny Law in the spotlight?
I would think they're on the ball, yeah.
Right. Well, I'll buy it. Okay, I'll take it. Maybe. But yeah, I still don't get it's so weird. Because he's a doggy cop and he can't talk to people, but he can't but he's a doggy cop.
Right. And then, so that, I think that goes into the next scene. Well, when Felipe makes a comment to Will Arnett casually, where he's like, oh, can't, you haven't bothered to learn my language. And you're like, wait, can people speak dog? Is that an option? Can we learn how to speak talk?
It's still not clear, right? It's still not fucking clear.
I'm so interested.
And then we head into a new montage, shorter.
Well, which is introduced with Felipe saying, literally, cue the montage.
Well, hold on, but this is the training one. But the step before that though is all right. So we got Max is locked up, right, by the animal patrol police, right? Arnett is like, whatever, goes up to his hotel room. Probably throws a couple, coins down on the table, but goes up to his hotel room and starts doing like internet researching, right?
Right.
Which we see because screen images are passing by his computer screen. He's still
like you do.
Which that's what you do, right? You just type while things are passing by.
Yeah, beep boop bop.
Get it done. And then we jump to.
Then we get to cue the montage, which
is now
our fourth or fifth montage, possibly.
Did Will Arnett just go pick? He just went and picked up Max, didn't he?
Yeah, I think it was like easy as that. I think he just like was like, "Oh, Max, get in the car."
Yeah, they made it so dramatic too. Because I remember there was a shot of like the lady with like the thing that was so aggressive, holding like walking him down the aisle, and it's like or whatever, like into this cage. It's like, so he just went and picked them up, and that was it. He bit someone, like the dog would be put down, like legally.
Right? Yeah. No. He just needed to be remanded to state custody for 24 hours. Was what they said.
He's also a police dog, though, attacking someone that is a criminal. Whatever. Okay.
But is he a police dog? Like they never reference him being a police dog outside of the beginning.
And he says it multiple times throughout the entire movie, even till like.
You would think that they would be like, oh, like, and that was the same kind of thing I was getting at earlier. Of like, couldn't Will Arnett be like, oh no, he's on the job. Like, don't take him away.
Yeah, I'm an FBI agent and I need him.
My jurisdiction supersedes his jurisdiction.
Yeah, my jurisdiction supersedes animal people. Like I need
which aren't people, right?
They are people. There's no doubt.
Sorry, my bad. Animals are people.
Wait, what?
We're trying to engage listeners again. And listeners, let us know. It's thismeetsthat@gmail.com. Are animals people?
They're better than people is what they are.
Mm-hmm. Let us know if you agree with Russ.
We're going to get a lot of that, which is fine.
I hope we get a lot of hate mail.
We're going to get shit tonight. Are you kidding me? We're going to get this is going to be bad. We're going to probably
at least 4 messages.
Yeah, episode 7 is going to be like our last one just because whatever.
Shout out to Brady. I expect most of the hate mail to come from Brady.
It should come from him. Maybe we'll have him on next episode. Anyways, all right.
Anyway, so yeah.
All right, so he gets the dog back. Max is back.
We're mid-montage now, right? Are we
jump into like a final training montage? Like, so this is like the way I'm explaining it. And Jared, correct me if I'm wrong. Founder host, other host.
I will.
Like this is about as choppy as the movie gets. So it's like me jumping to this is like, all of a sudden dog is back and then they're just in a training session, right?
No, it checks out. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason here.
Nope. Because we just need to move this thing along. It needs to be an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah, Will Arnett's making a bunch of training drinks that have a lot of raw eggs.
Yeah, which makes sense.
He's drinking them. The dog's drinking them. We're like, why are you drinking them? It's really only the dog that's doing anything. Yeah, nothing makes sense.
You're just walking. They form a bond. They're petting each other. There's this weird shot of Natasha Lyonne up in the hotel happened to be looking down and seeing them petting it. Like,
also pretty sketchy, yeah.
Sketchy. That's sketchy. Crazy person. Like, I'm watching you.
Yeah. But then, speaking of movies 101 again, callback. They go back later that night to the hotel after the montage is done. And Will Arnett's like, great job today, buddy. I'm proud of you. Like, why don't you sleep in the bed with me and Felipe? And he's like, fuck it. You know what? I will.
You will.
It's nice. I like that moment. It was good.
That was a good moment.
And that was what made me think, do you think there are FBI agents that do this kind of crime?
I'm really, you bring that question up and now I'm super curious because I don't know. Like,
is there a Ace Ventura division of the FBI?
I'm sure there's some crazy smuggling things going on, right? People smuggling animals?
Yeah,
or
definitely.
Not? Probably not. I don't know.
Definitely, yeah.
And we're back.
And we're back. I like to say it after you.
Oh.
Don't edit this.
No way. Whatever. If anyone makes it this far and hears that, I'd fucking love that.
I think they would appreciate it if we both said, and we're back.
You're right. And we're back. And we're back. Are you, though? All right. So we did our big training montage. I was drinking juice. And then they're all dressed up and ready for like the final countdown, the final showdown, I guess.
Yep.
Whatever.
Classic.
Dog showdown.
I think so. I think, yeah, we're on like day 6 of the dog show, maybe.
I have no fucking clue. Why did it take them so long to find? Like, it's really not that hard. Like,
I mean, the movie's about a panda. Why is it called Show Dogs?
Yeah, you literally could just walked around the after party and found the panda and the bad guys.
So many questions.
We'll skip all those holes because, again, it's for kids. It's for the children. So we get to this point where they're in like the back hallway now of, I guess, of the dog show thing. I don't know if you got this vibe, but this entire movie felt like just a giant ad for like Las Vegas for parents.
Yeah. So I didn't notice at all until you said it afterwards. You were like, oh, there were so many like Vegas strip related things and whatever. And I was like, I didn't pick up on any of those. Totally blocked them out. It
was literally just a reminder for parents, like, just go to Vegas. Like there was in the opening when they first get to Vegas and they pull the car over and they split off. Like in the background was a giant ad for Chris Angel's like Mind Freak, like show.
Yeah. I think I've got ad blindness.
What's that?
I think I've got ad blindness.
I don't. I guess not. I don't know. I don't know how to answer that question or that statement. But and then there's like when they're
oh boy.
Yep. And then when they're in the background, like there's like the Elton John poster. I don't know. It just felt like a big ad for Vegas. That's all.
I mean, I love Las Vegas. Shout out to Las Vegas, our friends there.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys want us to come down there, out there, not down there, across there, and
down and across.
Down and across a little bit, like southern, but yeah. If the entire city just wants to come down there and do a show, like let us know.
Yeah, we're pre-announcing a live tour, episode 6. Episode 6, none released. Pre-announcing a live tour we're doing in Vegas.
Yeah, let's do it. We could do like a one-day show where maybe we just
pandemic.
We just record one in a hotel and call it a live show.
Yeah, pandemic style. We're announcing this for 2022, early 2022.
Early 2022.
Yeah.
All right,
so Felipe and Chauncey, right? There's a little scene here. Before we get into anything, they're like sitting at the makeup table, and they have like a really nice, heartfelt makeup session. And I was like, I appreciate as much as we've shit on this movie so far, and as much as it deserves to be shit on. It has like a fair amount of like nice heartfelt moments where I'm like, oh, there are actually good lessons here for kids. And this is one of them where he's like, hey, you know what? Despite our differences and like, we had some rough times, but like, I forgive you. And I think that we can get through this together. And like, it was a really nice heartfelt moment, and it didn't feel cheesy to me. It felt genuine. I love French Tucci.
French Tucci, you can't go wrong. Tucci.
It was nice.
All right, well, that's good. I'm glad your heart felt good.
Yeah, and then we cut to Maddie and Will Arnett again, right?
I think so. I actually don't remember. Where are we now?
All right, so we're at like the final day of the competition. So
right.
we cut to
this is game day.
This is game day. We cut to Will Arnett and Natasha Lyonne, and they're doing like little game day prep. They're like, oh, are you sure you're ready for this? And they're both like, yeah, definitely. Obviously. Still can't always remember the character's name, but
that's
working
fine.
on it. Yeah.
But they also realized this. They figured out by this time that the winner of the dog show will lead them to basically the villains of the movie.
Yes, exactly. They were like, we got a tracking collar. We're like, we know that Max can win this.
Yep.
We'll put a tracking collar on him.
He's literally crushing everything.
When they inevitably kidnap him, we'll be able to track him to wherever he goes. Boom. Easy peasy, done and done. Seems like a no-brainer.
No.
And so this is the controversial scene. This is the scene they had to re-edit. So the doggy judge is like going and like checking in on all of his, he's like checking his doggy teeth and he's checking his doggy ears and all kinds of stuff. Apparently he goes and checks his doggy junk, and people didn't like that because it sounds pretty fucked up because it was.
As it was written on the page. Yeah.
Yeah, and the whole time they're like doing this weird slow motion thing where like they're like cutting to Will Arnett and he's like, and they're cutting back to Max and he's like, I don't know, and they're cutting back to Will Arnett and he's like, and then it's like, and he came in second. You're like, oh, okay, oh, that sucks. Yeah, and then our arch villain here, Senor Gabrielle, is like, you cost me £3 million. And you're like, wait, what?
By the way, what does a £3 million convert to? Did he really say £3 million?
It's probably like $3.5 million. It's and like,
look at you just knowing to.
I mean, grow up, dude. Yeah, wait, yeah, £1 is like $1.34. Yeah,
$3 million.
Yeah, £3 million. Is
that right?
Yeah, $4 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, look at you. All right, that's fine. What'd you say?
I said $3.5 million, but
okay, you weren't that close. All right, you're off by $500,000. Okay, whatever. Anyways.
Yeah, I know that dollars are worth less. And so, but like the whole time though, we're like, how much money is actually on the line here? Because again, show dogs, as we've established, the top world champion show dogs are worth like $100,000. Like, we're not talking millions of dollars. This is ridiculous.
It's out of control.
And what happened to the panda? We haven't seen the panda in half an hour.
Where is the panda? Where is our panda?
The main character.
Yeah, the main, like, if you will, like, it's his hero's journey, really.
Yeah. So that's when they're like, okay, we're going to kidnap Daisy because she won. As I said, what's his face? Max there did not get first place. Daisy got first place.
Daisy ended up winning. We're not sure why or how, but.
And she's about to get kidnapped by the criminals.
So now you've got, lady interest in trouble. Max is on the case. And we got a chase between, we got Frank and Maddie.
Pigeon PD. Oh, right. Don't forget Pigeon PD, though.
They come in. Of course, they gotta play a part in this whole thing. So there's a moment of like conversation between Frank and Max, though, right? Dog, human, bark, 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 whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yep.
What are you doing? And somehow, I don't know how this works out. Maybe you remember, but
probably not.
Right. Frank pieces together that, no, I don't think he actually pieced anything together, did he?
No, he hasn't learned anything at this point.
It's like, wait, I don't think anyone was pieced together other than that.
No, nothing's happened except for Max is the only one who knows everything. And Max is like, we need to drive the show here. So Max is like, all right, the pigeons are back. They're back to narrate. They're saving the day. Pigeon PD rolls in. They're like, all right, boys, birds of a feather fight crime together. Classic line.
Great line. Wait, hold on. You're right. So that's right. So Max is, because he had like a tracking collar on him. He gives it to the pigeons, like, hey guys, go put it on that unmarked van because that's just a thing.
Exactly. And so you're like, wait, aren't they going to question how the tracking collar got on the van? Like, what are they like? Do they even know about the pigeons? Like, what are the adults here? We've established, I think at this point, we finally established the dogs can't talk to the people.
Can or can't?
Cannot.
Yeah.
And so you're like, wait a second. How? Like, why isn't Will Arnett questioning this? Like, how did this tracking collar get on the van?
Yeah. And how does he trust a dog who's just barking at him? Like, if a dog is just barking at me, like, dude, shut the fuck up. Yeah.
This is 100% animal based at this point.
I love you, but stop barking. I'm trying to think right now.
No information. Exactly.
You're giving me no information at all.
No, and so like and like right before they go, Felipe is like, "Oh, bon chance, the fucking dog's doing doggy stuff." You know, like kids aren't gonna get this either. Like you
Nope.
can't say bon chance. Like
No,
kids don't speak French.
no, but that's still a good French Tucci you got there.
Thank you. And then it made me question, like, were kids' movies always like this?
No.
Like, we grew up in the 80s and 90s, and 80s, 90s, like, were they doing a lot of foreign language stuff? Like, we just watched the other day, Tyson and I watched a Looney Tunes video where I was like, oh, like, right, like, they did speak Spanish and stuff sometimes. Like, cartoons were way more multicultural back then than I thought they were.
No, they're also multiculturally. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they were definitely like playing on stereotypes more and things like they weren't great, but it was also good exposure and more than a lot of stuff. I don't know. The point what I was trying to say was when the pigeons start talking about like being, I can't be Falcon because Falcons ate my whole family. That was also really fucked up.
All right. So, all right, let's reset here. So we got the van with the dog, the winter dog, right, and the villain.
We got vans, we got dogs.
Cruising down fucking Las Vegas Strip, whatever. We got Natasha Lyonne's character, Maddie. We got Frank, FBI agent, in one car, and with Max, right? Who's like, we gotta go get, Daisy, whatever, right? Obviously, we gotta go get Daisy. We got pigeons, the pigeons who came from New York. They take the collar, they swoop in, they find the car, they drop it on the van. So now the humans can track where to get the van.
Right. No one's questioning this. No, everyone's just being like, oh, wait, we should track that.
Yeah. Everyone's just kind of like, whatever, this makes sense.
Great point.
Yeah, it's fine. And then we end up of course, as always, as most films end, because you need to escape. You need to end up at a plane hangar, like a hangar of a planes, right? Like you're right.
Yep. Oh, it's a good empty venue.
Yep. This is the culmination. You just need a small enough plane, cheap enough to fit in the budget of $5.5 million. So you got a little prop plane flying in McCarran, I guess.
Can we do one thing before that?
You can do whatever you want before anything.
So, right before they get to this weird airplane hangar, they're driving the car. Max, the dog, takes the steering wheel.
Oh.
And is he saying hang a Louie?
Yes.
Did he say, okay.
Yes.
What the fuck does hang a Louie mean? Does that mean take a left? Yeah. Is that an expression? Should I know that? Okay.
Yes, that is it. That's actually an expression.
I thought he was saying like hang a Yui, and I was like, you don't want to turn around. I thought you just want to go left. Okay, no. Hang a Louie is the thing that people say.
Yes.
I'm the ignorant one here. Okay, good.
Yes. Sorry, bro, but yes. No. Hang a Louie is definitely a take a left here.
Okay, thank God. I'm glad. I was just like, what? Why is he like? And also, where did he learn that from? If it is a thing.
And who is he saying it to? Because like his obviously
Will Arnett.
Who like he's like, I guess he wants me to take a left. Yeah, it's a pretty good Will Arnett, right? Not bad, man.
Yeah. Would you hear that?
Yeah. So crazy hijinks in the car. Dog is biting the steering wheel, trying to turn left. We clearly were hitting the climax of the film because we were clearly getting a little more loose with our remembering of it.
Right. So we get to the airplane hangar.
And here we are.
And so tigers can talk to dogs too. Important point. So we get to the airplane hangar and we roll up on we see the baby panda in a cage. We got the tiger in a cage.
Everything's in a set. Everything's set up.
Everything's set up. Everybody's in cages.
Yep.
Looking like San Antonio.
Oh.
And the tigers are like, oh, let's communicate with Daisy. Like, why not? And you're like, Daisy's like, how long have you been here? And the tiger's like, too long. Like, fuck, that explains everything and nothing.
And nothing. But it also explains like, oh, we've got crazy exotic animal smugglers, basically.
Right. Exactly. And then so they didn't show the panda yet until then. Then they like pan to the right a little bit and you see the panda and you're like, oh fuck, the panda's back. It's been 45 minutes since we've seen the panda.
You don't need to see him. He just, he's just a thing. He's just a MacGuffin. That's it.
Yeah. And then speaking of MacGuffin, that's when he like flips the lock and like lets the tiger out.
Right.
And you're like, this is when you know it's gonna get wild. Like the tiger's like, oh, the tiger literally says, oh, this will be interesting now. And my first thought is R.I.P. British guy.
Right. Who is a bad guy from the beginning who held the panda, held the bidding at $10 million.
Right.
Also, his first film was Snatch. I knew I recognized him, but he was in Snatch.
I did not. I recognized him. I haven't seen Snatch. I know him from something else. He must be in something else.
Snatch,
I don't know.
Snatch, you got to see. That's a great movie.
Put it on the list. So I was like, all right, R.I.P. British guy, except for I was actually really disappointed the tiger didn't eat him because he knocked himself out. He like knocked his head on the pipe there.
Yeah,
and the tiger's like, too easy.
Yeah. Really?
But, God damn it.
Right.
The one guy who deserves to get punished for torturing this little tiny cute baby panda.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. And then shout out to Scooby-Doo. Max is in the airplane. I think this is when your notes start. Max is like starting to do airplane hijinks. He's driving this propeller plane around this hangar and he goes, ruh-roh. I was like, wait, what?
A very Scooby-Doo moment, right? But why are the dogs in the plane driving it? And he does the things. It's like, we already know he can control a radio, but now he can control a plane. He fires it up, but he can't shut it down. So,
apparently. And so like everything's happening now. Like this is the absolute climax. Will Arnett is
right now.
Yeah, Will Arnett's like battling to the death here, trying to free the dogs, I guess. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish here.
Trying to let the dogs out. Sorry.
Trying to let the dogs out. And, wait, and this also seemed really dangerous. Like, do you think Will Arnett did his own stunts? Like, this propeller actually looks huge and scary.
Yeah. No, it's terrifying. There is a moment where he is fighting Gabriel, right? Senor Gabriel?
Yeah.
On the ground. And there's the propeller swinging around, coming close to him. It reminded me of the Indiana Jones, like Raiders Lost Ark moment, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like this movie is definitely not going on anyone's resume. Like all of the actors in this movie cannot put this on their resume, except if I were Will Arnett, I might take that 15 seconds and put that in my clip reel and be like, oh, wait, but I did this cool action thing. Yeah. I mean, he probably has better action clips from like Arrested Development.
He probably does. But so then we get to like this it's all moving on fast. It's moving very fast, but
everything moves fast now. Yeah,
because we are, and then we get to
the baby panda heading towards the propeller.
Of course, you saw that coming a mile away. He's still in his cage, getting close to the propeller. Will Arnett, for some reason, and Natasha Lyonne are like, I guess, too far away to save him.
Yeah, they're still battling something. No one really knows.
They're just standing there, and they're like, "Oh, we can't get there, I guess."
Yeah.
And Max and Daisy are still inside the plane. Max comes out, and Will Arnett's character's like, "Hey, fetch." Right? And he grabs the rope, which where this fucking rope came from. It's just hanging from the ceiling. And
he goes, fine, this one time.
Yeah, he just throws the rope. And And Max is like, this is fine. I'll fetch this one time.
I hate fetch, but fuck you. But this one time.
And he grabs the rope midair.
Yep.
Swings.
Oh, the trajectory. Like, I want to see the math on this swing.
Because there is definitely some geometry that needs to be figured out. But
incredible.
It doesn't make any sense. But he grabs the rope, swings out, swings down, grabs the cage of the panda as it's being cut up in the propeller.
Yep. I thought he lost part of his tail.
Oh, he did. Max definitely did. So what happens? So he lifts up. He gets the other opposite end of the pendulum of the rope here, right?
Yep.
We have no idea where that thing is hanging. Panda shoots out. Cage falls. Max grabs him with his bottom legs And then there's like the other propeller that kind of singes Max's tail.
Yep.
And then where did they end up? I think that's
Fine.
it.
They just like ended up next to Will Arnett, and they were like, okay, everything's cool now. And that's when Thais and I had talked about a few different quotes for this movie. And I think my favorite, and what I should have said at the beginning, like what really sums this movie up, Bear tongue is scratchy.
What?
Thanks, Will Arnett.
Wait, what?
So after they land, after this big swing, the panda's like licking him, and he just goes, "Bear tongue is scratchy," and then it cuts to the next scene. Did you fall asleep through that scene?
I may have. I think I missed that one.
Yeah, and that's when then they go and like sum up the whole movie. And he goes, "Oh, you know what? Everything works a whole lot better when you trust and respect people who are different than you."
Yeah, it was like,
okay,
movie theme summed up in one line.
All right, well,
guess we're
nailed it.
Nailed it. Guess we're done with that one.
Yeah. And then it cuts to the tiger. And you're like you're in the helicopter, and it's Gabrielle and Karma, apparently also
a prop plane, by the way.
Sorry, prop plane, yeah. Criminal mastermind Karma the dog, also with Gabrielle, Senor Gabrielle, and the tiger rolls up behind them, and you're like, wait a second, did the tiger commit suicide in order to bring that guy down? Like, is he a real hero here? And somehow all of them lived.
And then did they crash on like the strip?
I guess, I don't,
like outside of Vegas, like.
I guess so, because then they're like immediately showed the guy, the pilot, like getting out and be like, okay, yeah, I guess I'm gonna go to jail now.
Do you think the final line there was like that forced written line of like respect, trust, and empathy? Here we go. You think that was forced in there because of like do you think that was added after the whole child grooming shit?
No, I don't think so. I think the whole point of this movie, I think that was there the whole time.
Because that makes no sense to have that and then be like.
I think that the message was there. I think they just got like cloudy in the middle because of the 15 people that worked on this movie.
Yeah.
I think they were just like, oh, we can, like, it is a kid's movie after all. It's definitely overwritten. Like, it's definitely like wildly over, like there's too much French in this movie to be a kid's movie. and then they're like, oh, you know, we have lessons throughout. Maybe this one's a little heavy-handed. Maybe we should dial that back. And then they're like,
or maybe the thought with that, what they thought was a joke about the whole Zen moment and being checked on at the very end.
Oh,
was
boy.
The payoff was like, well, no, like, yeah, have a little respect for, you know, but it was just it's too far stretched. It's too far stretched. Like you can't.
Yeah. I mean, it was just so specific. Like where there's it's almost a direct quote that I wrote of like you should just like trust and respect people who are different than you.
Just like literally just
okay.
Calls it out. It's like, oh, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, yes, you should. That's a correct thing to do.
Yeah, and then it cuts to this apartment.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the movie's not over yet. So that's the fucking the climax, if you will. And then we cut to an apartment. I assume FBI Frank's apartment.
Yep, New York City. I'm assuming again. We don't know anything. Nothing in this movie that like you would actually want to know is actually spelled out for you, and everything else is egregiously spelled out for you. You're like, oh, the things I have questions about, I'll never know, and the things that I didn't care about at all, I know too much about.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And it's also like, who can afford that? Like, no, I don't think FBI guys make that much money.
No, it's like a 1,500 square foot apartment.
I should say FBI people, I don't think make that much money where they can afford to live in that apartment. You see the apartment at the end? It's like,
that's what I'm saying. It's like
a cool loft place. Like,
it's like a 1,500 square foot warehouse. Like this.
Like, no way.
It's a $5,000 a month apartment. So then it cuts to the tiger being like, well, this really is the life of Pi, huh? And you're like, wait.
Oh, that's right.
What? I just wrote the fuck? Like, okay. I guess there was a tiger in that also. And then followed up with how many times can we say watch my six? Because they're always like, watch my six. and you're like, they're rolling up, they're trying to do something crazy, and then they run into RuPaul, Persephone.
Well, hold on. So
you have something before that? Okay.
Well, no, just like setting up the whole thing. So, all right. So, movie wraps. We've solved we got the villain. Blah blah blah. He's caught. They end up back at home. There's a stupid nerdy newsreel joke. Pandemonium. That's weak. The news that's playing in the background. So we hop back into like the awesome apartment.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden it's like Natasha Lyonne and Frank are apparently, getting along. We got Max and Daisy. Everyone's getting along, right? They're all happy family moment. And then he gets a call. That's right. Frank gets a call and he's like, oh, yeah, I got to take this. So now obviously they're buddies. They're doing something. So him and Max, they go retrieve the call and they open up this, I don't know where the fuck they went. There's no indication where they fucking went. They just went somewhere and then like a door opens and they're in a sauna or like a hot tub and there's 3 dogs in there and it's Sprinkles and Tucci, French Tucci,
Sprinkles.
and then RuPaul's dog, RuPaul's dog reveals was an agent, Homeland Security dog agent the entire fucking time. Do they have dogs or just like, what are you doing?
Apparently they have Special Agent Persephone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then literally the quote is, "Here we go again."
Yeah,
cut 2 sequel.
Max looks at the screen, like, "Here we go again." Okay.
Yeah. Love it.
Maybe. Probably not.
So, and then the problem is you shut it off, and I didn't. And there are the bloopers. So many. Watch the bloopers.
This is the end of the movie. The end of the movie is rolling. I give it like a 30-second, 45-second, probably a minute. I was like, all right, whatever, and I just shut it off. And then you, other host, not to be confused with a co-host, you were like, there's bloopers. Did you watch the bloopers? I was like, I didn't. So I went back and rewatched them. But
like so many gems in there, like so many forced, because you're like, wait, part of this movie is animated, and all of the animated bits, they're like, it's scripted. Like it's obviously not bloopers. Right. I guess maybe if you're a little kid, maybe you're like, can't tell the difference between fiction and reality. So I guess it's for them. But you're like, wait a second. They're like, Will, stick to the script, please. You're like, wait, why is the dog talking to Will Arnett like that? The dog can't talk. If this guy's an FBI agent, I'm Lego Batman. And I'm like, oh, good reminder that the only thing that Will Arnett's famous for is Lego Batman, apparently.
So now, here we go again, though. Even the bloopers, the dog is breaking character of like...
Yes. The dog is an actor. Right. And that's where it's like, this is so stupid.
Like the dog is talking to his co-actor, like he can understand him, but it's like, wait, what?
And there's some cute scenes of like Will Arnett hugging dogs that are adorable, but it's also like, what a weird way to end this awful movie.
Yeah. How would you do this? I mean, there's definitely moments of like the animals, I think, doing stupid shit on set. There's definitely, they captured some of that, but it was like, they rolled it into like the dogs, like, well, I don't know, I just wanted a fucking tuna fish sandwich or whatever, something stupid.
Right. Yeah. So I would say definitely go see it. It's a good movie. Go rent it on Amazon. It's free if you have Amazon Prime.
I would say go outside and I think I've said it for like the last 5 movies.
Yeah, go read a book or like walk a couple miles.
All right. So yeah, that wraps up.
Yeah. And that's the episode.
We're done.
And have a good one.
Have a good one.